Hello explorers, thanks for joining us again and welcome back to another informative and educating content on our YouTube channel. If you are joining us for the first time, we want to thank you for watching. Today we are looking at what rich Africans are teaching their children that poor Africans do not. In this video, I will be able to elaborate on very specifics. I will also outline to you 6 very important things that rich African parents are discussing with their children that the poor Africans do not. So without any much delay, let's just dive straight into it. There is the continuous belief that as someone who grew up within the continent, talking about money was never a conversation between myself and my parents. Having traveled and studied abroad, working in different international environments, I came to realize that there are a number of things that are missing, not just cultural wise, but for African parents to begin to have honest conversation about money with their children. In this video, you will be able to understand why Africans are struggling, that the most African parents let their families stay in perpetual poverty as a result of a particular cultural misunderstanding. The thing here we are looking at is that there is a particular thing that rich people do that poor people do not. Wealthy people do things differently than more natural average people. They continually self-educate, they avoid nostalgia, while average people in the continent of Africa teach their kids to survive. The rich people teach children or their own kids to be rich in their mindset and in their way of thinking and in regards to their approach. The average family unconsciously passed down the same limitation and beliefs that were taught to them, that money from generation to generation is something that could not be discussed. There are a number of beliefs that have kept most families in Africa at the same level of financial success for dozens of years, however, keeping hundreds in perpetual poverty. The rich people, on the other hand, not only teach their kids smart money habits, but they also teach them that it's okay to want to be rich, that wealth is possible for anyone who thinks big enough to have it. While the masses are content to play it very safe in the continent of Africa, seeking comfort and avoid pain, the great ones are living large and teaching their kids to do the same. The self-made millionaires in the world today, and especially in the continent of Africa, have over and over again that life is a game of chance, that you have to take some certain risks to a certain extent. Possible risks that you're able to solve problems in several ways. Of course, ways in which the world people teach their kids and money is crucial. They educate their kids on how to make money by solving problems, enhancing the quality of other people's lives. This way, the children learn to see money as a positive and proactive force for good instead of weapons of a few to use against many. They start to see money as a friend, while the average person in the continent of Africa see money as an enemy. In this video, here are the 6 very important things that the rich people teach their children in Africa that poor parents in the continent of Africa do not. The first thing we are looking at here is that the rich people teach their children to surround themselves with successful people. Your environment is more powerful than your willpower. Your brain shapes itself around people you surround yourself with every day. If the people around you are motivated to succeed, the chances are high that being with them, your mindset will work in a way that you'll be able to re-evangelize yourself and start thinking positively. The environment that you grew up shape your perception and your thinking. The second thing that the rich people in Africa teach their children that poor people do not is that success is not free. Being an entrepreneur in the continent of Africa, it is a full-time job, of course. You have to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Most rich people in Africa are considered to be like people who have stolen their money. No, not everybody in Africa has embezzled money. Some Africans have put in extreme effort to make their money. Also, rich people don't give their kids money. They want them to earn it. Even if your dad is a billionaire, you have to work extremely hard. You are responsible for your own success. But in the continent, if the father is extremely rich, the child start thinking in another way to not put in effort. The third thing that the rich people in Africa teach their children that poor people do not, that have an abundant mindset. They teach their children to have an abundant mindset. The moment you say something is impossible, it becomes impossible for you, not to anyone else, because your perception will drive that way. That's your sphere of thinking, and your sphere of influence will also shape the way you perceive things around the world and within your environment. There is always going to be someone who is going to do something that was impossible for you. And for example, if something is done extremely well, it looks very simple. How big you think is how big you will be able to achieve your success. African parents should instigate this particular perception and also believe in their kids. These are some of the things that the rich people in the continent have put into their children, and that shapes their perception with regards to the global community and around their environment in Africa. We encourage African parents to talk more and also let their children have abundant mindset. Another thing which African parents who are extremely rich teach their children that the poor ones do not is that you must solve a problem to get rich. Whenever someone has become wealthy in Africa, it's perceived in another way. But in most cases, you will realize that he might have solved a problem. There is always a problem that they have solved, actually. According to experts who have reviewed this and looking into billionaires in the continent and research institutions, they have become to realize that billionaires in the continent have one way or the other solved a problem, a $1 billion problem in the continent, which those other billionaires or individuals or poor parents in the continent could not envisage that this was possible. By solving this problem, it opens an opportunity for them to make even bigger money and solving even bigger problems in the future, thereby increasing their current wealth. The next thing that most African parents who are rich or have a rich mindset teach their children is to continue to keep making assets. Africans focus on having liabilities. Most Africans spend their money on things which are not relevant if you consider flashiness. It doesn't perceive that. If you look around the globe, or specifically in the continent of Africa, extremely rich people live simple life. They come around buying basic things that normal poor people who are, you will say that, keeping with the Joneses do not have. Of course, they know what it means before they commit their money in investing or doing some kind of putting their money into things in the continent or for their own businesses. They might have considered how relevant is this in terms of their wealth. Rich people children stay away from liabilities and focus on building assets. If you are new to our channel, we will encourage you to subscribe and share our videos to your different network. Another thing which rich African parents teach their children is that they try to replicate their income. African parents who are extremely rich teach their children that they have to replicate their income. The fact that you are able to be successful in a particular entrepreneurial skills, if you can redouble that effort, do it over and over, replicate that particular activities or service that you are offering, the money will keep generating. You'll be able to become so efficient in that particular service that you are offering that your wealth will continue to build. So most African parents are telling their children, you got to replicate your income. Keep doing it over and over. For example, a theater artist has to perform each time to earn money, but official release of that particular theater performance will keep them making money. I'm just going to give you another example. People like J.K. Rowling are becoming billionaire today as a result of their book being published, like the Harry Potter. Not just books, but movies and other games that they've been involved in. They actually earn royalties in those particular endeavors that they've involved in. These are very important things. The last but not the least thing that the rich African parents teach their children is that money solves many problems. Middle class parents in Africa tell their kids that money is the root of all problems, whereas rich people teach their kids that even if money cannot buy happiness, it is far better than being poor. Having no money adds to the difficulties. According to Rupert, the rich dad, poor dad, the mindset that you can't afford something is a poor mindset. Most African parents tell their children that money is evil, that money will not buy you happiness, money will not lead you to anywhere. These are poor mindset that our continent hours. In this video, you'll be able to understand that focusing on things that are not relevant. Most people will tell you that money will not solve problems, but I assure you, not having the money is even worse for you having the money, because by having that money, you have an opportunity to solve certain problems that if you did not have that money, you cannot. I want to hear from you. Want to thank you for watching. If you are joining our channel for the first time, we would like you to leave us a comment. Let us know what you think about the conversation you've had with your parents as you grew up with regards to money, that if the conversation should be in the middle or the center of the conversation around African families, and what are the poor families not having discussions with their children that you think that the rich are having. We want to thank you for watching. We encourage you to watch some of our informative videos on our YouTube channel. We are looking forward to meeting you soon in our next episode. Have a good day. Bye-bye.